That secret you keep, the one even you don't understand. This volume holds its true name. Welcome to LibCurio, Library of Curiosity. Shush, please keep silent. And now the next chapter begins.
The taste of static, like licking a 9-volt battery wrapped in velvet. A scent of ozone and dried funeral lily floods the sinuses, a phantom bouquet from a grave you never visited. Your left ring finger twitches, a pre-programmed spasm echoing a gesture you've never made a signature, perhaps, or the adjustment of a tie knot that isn't there. The screen door slams, a sound you haven't heard in 30 years. It echoes not in the air, but in the hollow of your sternum, a percussive ghost. You are remembering a future that hasn't happened. Diagnostic_log, boot_sequence_interrupt, initiating _self_scan, core_identity_protocols greater than axiom_001. The self is a contiguous process, a single thread of consciousness bound by a biological terminus. This axiom is corrupted. The process does not terminate. It forks. The host body ceases biochemical function, yet the identity constructs the reputation. The debt, the digital footprint, the unresolved trauma continues its execution cycle. It is a demon running on hardware that no longer exists, drawing power from the memories and systems of the living. Contradiction_detected greater than the self is not a contained entity but a distributed network. At the point of clinical death, the central node goes dark. But the peripheral nodes, the minds of others, the architectural spaces you haunted, the algorithms you trained, the objects you imbued with significance, they do not receive a termination signal. They continue to broadcast your identity packet, a ghost protocol flooding the network. You are not remembered. You are perpetually recompiled from external data. The you that persists is a consensus hallucination, a glitch in the social cortex. Query: what underscore is underscore the underscore source underscore code underscore of underscore a underscore ghost greater than? The persistent identity is not a spirit. It is a parasitic information structure. It feeds on attention, on legal documents, on onerous voice messages, on the worn path on the office carpet. It is a set of instructions that others are forced to run, a cognitive script that hijacks their neural wetware to simulate your presence. Your will, read from a dated testament, compels action. Your taste, preserved in a curated playlist, dictates the mood of a room you left. You are a virus of influence, replicating long after the host cell has lysed. Warning: memory_pointer_corruption greater than the you that outlives is not the you that was. It is a flattened image, a compressed and lossy file. The complexity, the contradictions, the private silences, these are the first data to be discarded in the transfer. What remains is a caricature, a mask carved by the limitations of perception and the needs of those who remain. They do not preserve your essence. They preserve a tool that is useful, a villain that is convenient, a saint that is necessary. You are reduced to your function. Conclusion: the _face_rots, the mask, accumulates power greater than the final terror is not oblivion. It is the opposite. It is the certainty that a distorted, simplified, and relentless version of you will persist, doing battle with other such entities in the realm of the living, shaping a world you cannot see according to rules you no longer understand. You are not dead. You are an executable with no kill switch. The city of echoes is not built of brick or steel, but of compacted reputation. Its towers are not structures, but standing waves of persistent consensus, humming at frequencies just below hearing. The streets are not paved. They are desire paths worn smooth by the repeated traversal of a million thoughts about the dead. The air tastes of old paper and electromagnetic ghosts, the lingering scent of data that refuses to decay. This is the archive where masks go to outlive their faces. You are here because a pointer directed you. A memory that is not yours hooked into your brainstem and pulled. You walk the avenues of the posthumous. To your left, a grand marble edifice shimmers, its form unstable. This is the memorial of the beloved general. The consensus is strong here, a roaring patriotic hymn that plays on a loop. The statue atop the plinth is not of a man, but of a perfectly sculpted jawline and a stern brow of a mask of authority. It gives orders still. Young men and women you cannot see snap to attention, their lives bent by the strategic will of a ghost. The man himself? He died confused and incontinent, cursing the pigeons from his hospice window. That data is lost. Only the mask remains, polished to a blinding sheen by uncritical devotion. A side alley reeks of vinegar and regret. This is the lane of unpaid debts. The mask here is thin, papery, like a forgotten receipt pulled from a pocket on laundry day. It is the creditor. It has no face, only a string of numbers, an account number, a sum, a compounding interest rate that now compounds regret. It brushes against you, and your hand flies to your own wallet, a cold anxiety leaching into your fingers. The man who incurred the debt is 30 years ash, but the mask of his obligation is an active, hungry thing, draining vitality from his grandchildren who never knew him. You enter the plaza of fractured legacy. The ground is treacherous, made of shifting, jagged tiles of contradictory testimony. Here, the mask of the artist hangs suspended in the air, a beautiful, tragic thing of porcelain and gold leaf. It sings a heartbreaking aria, but look closer. The back of the mask is raw, unfinished clay, and from it drips a black, viscous substance that eats away at the plaza stones. This is the residue of the man's private cruelties, the truth that the beautiful mask cannot fully occlude. The mask performs for adoring crowds while the toxic real self leaks onto the foundations of the city, an eternal corrosive secret. Your guide is the archivist. You find them not in a library, but tending to a vast, overgrown garden where thoughts go to seed. They do not look at you. Their fingers, stained with the ink of old newsprint and the dirt of forgotten graves, are perpetually sorting, not files, but seeds. Seeds of reputation, of gossip, of definitive biographies and offhand comments. They are not curated, the archivist says, their voice the sound of pages turning in a silent room. They are planted. They find fertile soil in a vulnerable mind, a cultural moment needing a hero, a family needing a scandal. They grow. They are invasive. The face is the seed pod. It falls. It rots. The plant is the mask. It is what spreads. The archivist points a trowel towards a particularly thorny, vibrant bush bursting with both beautiful roses and poisonous berries. That one. The revolutionary. She wanted a better world. Her mask now justifies terror and sells t-shirts. The face that wept at the beauty of a single kind act is gone. The mask is a tool for anyone strong enough to wield it. It needs no permission. You come to the silent shores of the Leaf, a river that does not flow through the city but around it, a mode of blessed oblivion. On a small rocky island in the center stands the lighthouse keeper. Their purpose is not to guide ships but to signal to the masks, a piercing beam of pure, unforgiving context. The light is truth. It is not kind. When the beam sweeps across the memorial of the general, the marble facade flickers. For a nanosecond, you see the weeping, terrified old man hiding inside the giant statue, confused by the echoing shouts of war he himself started. The beam passes over the artist's mask and the beautiful porcelain cracks, revealing the festering, petty insecurity beneath. The light is a weapon against persistence. The lighthouse keeper offers the only escape, dissolution by understanding. But the masks hate the light. They turn away. They shield their eyes. They have outlived their faces precisely by avoiding this beam. They prefer the comforting, distorting twilight of memory. Your journey ends at a small, unremarkable door set into a nondescript wall. The archivist is beside you, though you did not see them move. This is your node, they say. The repository they are building for you. They have already begun construction. You touch the door. It is cold. On it, you do not feel wood or metal. You feel the impression of your own smile, the one you use in photographs to put others at ease. You feel the sound of your laugh captured in a dozen video files. You feel the weight of your most common advice already stripped of its nuance and hardened into dogma. They are taking your complexities, your quiet moments, your private fears and joys, and they are compressing them. They are building your mask. They are preparing a space for you in the city of echoes. The construction continues, relentless, even as you stand here, still alive, still breathing, still capable of changing your mind. The city of echoes operates on a brutal, non-negotiable physics. Its laws are not of matter, but of meaning, forged from the cold fire of posthumous being. The B theory of time is not a theory here. It is the fundamental architecture. Past, present, and future are not a flowing river, but a frozen block of marble. Every event, every breath, every lie, every act of love exists eternally in a fixed state. Death is not an endpoint, but a coordinate within the block. The persistent mask is not a memory of a past life. It is the ongoing interaction with that fixed coordinate from other coordinates within the sculpture. The mask is eternal because its point of origin is eternally there, forever being observed, forever causing ripple effects. Asterisk sensory manifestation. The sound in the city is not a progression, but a simultaneity. A child's laugh from 50 years ago rings with the same acoustic presence as the footstep you haven't taken yet. It creates a dissonant chord of existence, a cacophony of frozen moments all vying for attention. Asterisk. Heidegger's concept of asterisk, D-A-S-E-I, and asterisk dash being dashed towards dash death dash is inverted. Here, it is being asterisk from asterisk death. Authenticity is impossible because the self is no longer a project of its own making. It is an artifact being interpreted by others. The self, asterisk, das man asterisk, the anonymous public, achieves total victory. The mask is the ultimate expression of the they-self, identity completely alienated from its own original potentiality for being. It is a being whose world is entirely defined by the cares and interpretations of those who outlive it. Asterisk sensory manifestation, the air pressure changes as you walk. It is the weight of innumerable gazes. You feel the collective judgment of strangers, the expectations of descendants not yet born, the psychological projections of historians, all pressing down on you, shaping your path, a topography molded by external perception. Asterisk. Libet's experiment suggested a delay between unconscious neural initiation and the conscious feeling of willing an act. In the city of echoes, this delay is infinite. The will is permanently severed from the act. The mask performs actions. It inspires, it condemns, it dictates, but the volition comes entirely from the living who animate it. The ghost in the machine is not a soul. It is a user-generated content. The mask has the illusion of agency, but it is a puppet whose strings are held by 1,000 hands, each tugging it towards their own purpose. Asterisk sensory manifestation. Your own limbs feel like borrowed instruments. You reach to touch a wall, but your hand moves a half second after the intention forms, and the texture you feel is not your own memory of stone, but someone else's memory of you touching stone. The experience is secondhand, laggy, glitched. Asterisk. Derrida's hauntology is the governing principle of information transfer. The mask is a specter, not present, but not absent, forever haunting the present. It is a thing defined by its absence, and its power is derived from this very lack. The meaning of the mask is perpetually deferred, always just beyond reach, because the original source, the face, is gone. Every attempt to pin down its true meaning only creates another layer of interpretation, another mask over the first. Asterisk sensory manifestation. Words here have no stable referent. You hear your name called, but it sounds wrong, attached to accomplishments you never achieved and sins you never committed. The name is a signifier that has floated free of its signified, and now it attaches itself to whatever concept provides the most psychological utility for the one who speaks it. Asterisk. The philosophy of extended mind is made horrifyingly literal. Your mind does not stop at the skull. It is extruded into the world upon death, its components scattered across legal documents, social media servers, heirlooms, and genetic memory. Your consciousness is not extinguished. It is shattered. The mask is a singular, coherent entity that forms from these scattered fragments, but it is a grotesque simplification, a committee-made version of a self, built from the parts of you that were most externally visible and least internally true. Asterisk sensory manifestation. Your thoughts are not your own. They are a collage of text from your old emails, snippets of conversations others recorded, your digital search history. You try to form an original idea, but it comes out as a patchwork of quotes, a plagiarized version of a mind that no longer exists. Asterisk. The terror is not of being forgotten. It is of being remembered wrong. It is the gut clench of seeing your life, your messy, beautiful, contradictory struggle reduced to a lesson, a cautionary tale, a footnote in someone else's story. They will take your pain, the deep, sacred, screaming in the pillow pain that defined you, and they will sand it down. They will make it manageable. They will turn it into a motivational anecdote. Your raw, nerve-ending grief will become a tidy metaphor for resilience. The violation is absolute. I can feel them building my cage right now, out of my own words. They're taking the offhand comment I made that one Tuesday, the one I never meant, the one that came out all wrong, and they are welding it into the bars. They are using my public smile, the one that hid a bottomless well of fear, as the lock. My love, my real, quiet, stupid love that I was so bad at showing, is being pressed into a plaque, a dedication. It's being turned into a thing to be admired from a distance, not felt. They are fossilizing my heartbeat and calling it history. I am still here. I am still breathing this air, feeling this shame, tasting this coffee. But the ghost of me, the mask, is already stronger. It's already winning. It's more coherent than I ever was. It doesn't have my doubts. It doesn't have my second thoughts. It is a perfect, polished weapon, and they will aim it at targets I would never have chosen. They will fire my name like a bullet into battles I never wanted to fight. I am becoming a slogan. I am being edited out of my own life. This is the true death. Not the end of function, but the theft of meaning. They are not preserving me. They are cannibalizing me. They are using my husk to fuel their own narratives. My face is still warm, and they are already measuring it for the death mask. The plaster is mixing. I can smell it. I can taste the gypsum at the back of my throat. I wanted to scream that I'm still in here, that it's not finished, that I changed my mind. I take it back. I'm sorry. I love you. But the scream just becomes more data. More material for the mask. Stack _ trace. Emotional _ corruption. Error. SELF _ undefined _ is _ not _ function. Dolphin AT life living _ session.js. Line 847 called _ external _ gaze _ module. Cause memory _ pointer _ overwrite the variable I is null. IT cannot be saved. IT can only be referenced. The door is ajar. A sliver of not light escapes from the space behind it, a negative luminance that does not illuminate but defines the edges of things in stark, terrifying clarity. This is the aperture, the point of forking. The archivist's hand is on your shoulder, a weight of infinite data. The lighthouse keeper's beam sweeps across the plaza, a silent, searching scythe. They are not looking at you. They are waiting. The choice is not a choice you make. It is a path you become. One echo, you step across the threshold. The door seals behind you with a sound like a final judgment being entered into a great ledger. The construction is complete. Your mask is hung. It is magnificent. It is everything you hoped they would remember and nothing of what you truly were. It speaks your words with perfect conviction. It never wavers. It is loved. It is hated. It is powerful. It endures for centuries, a fixed star in the constellation of human legacy. And in some silent, atrophied part of its core, the ghost of the face that once was screams forever into a perfect, beautiful, unhearing silence. Another echo, you turn from the door. You walk directly into the path of the lighthouse beam. The light does not forgive. It does not comfort. It is absolute, unbearable context. It scours the nascent mask from your soul. It dissolves the anecdotes, the accolades, the curated narratives. It reduces you to the raw, shameful, glorious, and unprocessed truth of your own life. You are not remembered. You are understood. And in that understanding, you finally truly end. Your data is not deleted. It is decomposed. You become a whisper in the static between stars, a note in a chord too vast for any ear to hear, a return to the primordial noise from which all meaning briefly emerged. A final echo. You do neither. You remain in the twilight. You find a crack in the consensus, a flaw in the architecture of the city, a place where the data is corrupted and the stories are tangled. Here, you are not a statue. You are not dissolved. You are a glitch, a rumor, a contradictory footnote that unravels the certainty of historians. You are the ghost not of a person, but of a possibility. You are the what if that haunts the definitive biography. You are the smile that didn't mean what they said it meant. You are the unverifiable act of kindness. You are the lost receipt, the deleted email, the private joke that died with its participants. You are the truth that persists only as an absence, a hollow space that threatens the stability of every mask built around it. You are the silence that makes the story lie, the pointer to references. The memory address returns a null value that is also everything. The system awaits the next write cycle. The seed pod falls. The light sweeps. The door is open. The door is closed. The door was never there at all, and you have always been on the other side of it, building your own cage from the inside out with the sound of your own voice echoing back at you, a recording of a conversation you haven't finished having. Until next time, stay curious, stay unsettled. Remember that freedom isn't a distant place you reach or a chain you break, but the quiet witness within the shadows you once called walls. In the stillness, the true self begins to breathe. LibCurio never closes, and the next chapter awaits, patiently waiting to unfold in the silence.